here on the Tommy Talk Show, and I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful Sunday, wonderful weather. It's been hot and sweaty, and with the counter breeze, and it's interesting week this week. Just living life to the fullest, just going as hard as I can when I can, living life out loud like I can. And if you get a chance, you want to check out some more of my content, check me out on TikTok, TommyNC2010 at TikTok. I do a lot of my walking TikToks, and if you want to start doing walking TikToks, all you gotta do is walk towards your camera like you don't owe any money. Alright, so folks, we're gonna get right in the news. Just recently, out west in the Yellowstone, a buffalo wandered into the like there's these big lakes out there where the geysers are, and they're very they're acidy, like very toxic. If you get inside this thing will boil you alive. Well, a buffalo was caught on film, and apparently this happens sometimes off and on. The buffalo will wander around in that area, and they will get into these big lakes, and it was seen on camera boiling alive. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? That's insane. And just mind blowing. But all I'm gonna say is the people of Yellowstone got to have a tasty burger, if you know what I mean. A broiled buffalo burger. Get it? Would you eat that buffalo burger? Just curious. After it was boiled alive in the water and stuff like that, and they cooked it up and stuff like that, would you eat that buffalo burger? I might, but it's just. I mean, I'll eat anything you put in front of me, but to certain standards, I'll eat it. But yeah, that's what happened in Yellowstone. Like someone caught it on film, and they had to put it online. In other news, recently, Chimney Rock Park recently reopened. But if you don't know, it's local news that they just recently opened up during the 4th of July. But if you want to know what the importance of this local news is, Chimney Rock is a small little town down the road from me. And during Helene, they were devastated. Not just devastated, almost wiped off the map. Half the businesses, half of the homes and stuff like that were just completely wiped out because they live right next to the river, and the water just rose up and up and up and just destroyed the riverbanks, destroyed homes, and just caused a huge amount of damage during this incident, and just it destroyed the bridge. It's going to take them a while to get the town back up. But I'm guessing because as they're reopening, what they're going to do is probably put more of the money from the park into the town to get it rebuilt and remodeled. So if you get a chance and you want to go up to Chimney Rock Park, go check it out. It's here in Western North Carolina. There's been if you ever seen the movie Last of the Mohicans, that was shot at Chimney Rock Park. All that I think it was right. The Last of the Mohicans was shot there, and there's been a few other movies shot here in Western North Carolina, but that's one of the most popular movies that was shot here in Western North Carolina, I would say. It's a pretty big deal. Pretty big park, and one of my relatives always told me that the Chimney Rock looked like an anatomy. And if you look at it, kind of, but they had the flag sticking up there, and the American flag, and it looks very, awesome and beautiful views. Personally, I'm a man that's unexercised. I have never walked up there, and I would, if I was to do the walk, I would have to pack my stuff in a bag and get pictures taken up there because I would be covered in sweat. And I've been working on trying to get better, lose weight right now. Also, in other news, it is the 36th anniversary of the release of Seinfeld. They had over 9 seasons, and they were won so many awards for so many episodes. And everybody remembers Seinfeld, the Summer of George, Newman. Just so many great quotes from Seinfeld. What is your favorite quote from Seinfeld? And what is your favorite episode? It's myself. I don't know which one is my favorite episode. I think I like all the episodes. There's a few seasons where the writers kind of took a different direction and they kind of made it not so a show about nothing. They kind of gave it a theme. Well, each episode has its own theme and its own direction. Just about Jerry and his friends living in New York, living life together, doing stuff. And one of the things that I love sitcoms, but in real life, people just don't go to people's houses and sit around and talk. Like today, it's just like they're in their phone, looking at their phone, scrolling through Facebook. If we saw a modern episode of Seinfeld, that's what it was. Jerry would be sitting on his couch like, hey, did you hear this about politics? And then Kramer would bust in on his phone scrolling. Of course, knowing Kramer, he'd be like the one not having a cell phone. He'd be like, no, Jerry, I don't think so. The government's watching us. They're out to get us, Jerry. Like, I have a feeling that he'd be off the grid. It's like our George is still kind of like, I did like what they did with the episode. If you ever watched Kirby Enthusiasm, Kirby Enthusiasm is a show that Larry David produced, and it's kind of like Seinfeld, but with Larry David in the middle, getting into situations and problems. So one of the seasons they did a anniversary show in the show of Kirby Enthusiasm, showing you that basically, George had gotten in financial problems because he made an app where you could find every single public toilet. And leading up to that, he basically hooked up with Bernie Madoff, which, Madoff ripped off a lot of people. And apparently George put his money with Bernie Madoff, and he had gotten divorced from his wife, and apparently she took the money and then told him, oh, by the way, one day I just ran into Bernie and he was just wearing this jacket weird, so I took out my money from him. And George is like, that's my money! You took my money! That's my money! Just freaking out about the whole entire theme of the episode is George just trying to get back together with his ex-wife, which the idea of why Larry does the sorry, I'm giving out spoilers, but if you haven't seen it, you haven't seen it. It is what it is. I don't know if you're a big Seinfeld fan or not, but that's the whole reason why Larry always was big on top of not doing shows, but after being divorced from his wife, he wants to get back with her, so he decides to do a pilot episode, do an anniversary show of Seinfeld to get back together with his wife. And I'm not going to ruin the ending. If you want to watch the episode of that Kirby Enthusiasm, you can. I would say Kirby Enthusiasm is just as good as Seinfeld, but it just kind of adds on. And the ending of Kirby Enthusiasm, which they had this past year, was interesting. It was definitely entertaining to watch, I would say. It caught my interest, and so, and other things, we're going to go into, after the news, we're going to go into an interesting fact. I got two interesting facts for you folks. So our first interesting fact is about a crocodile in Africa. His name is Gustav. He is over 20 feet long. He is still alive, and he has killed over 300 people in Africa. People shot him, speared him, everything you could think of. They have gone after him, and he is still alive to this day. And a certain lake in Africa, that's where he hangs out. They say if you go after him, it'll be the end of you. He is a vicious 20-foot crocodile that will take you down. Yeah. Would you take on Gustav? I mean, personally, what I would do is if I had connections, I would just firebomb the whole entire area. And I would evacuate the whole area. I would just firebomb the whole entire lake. Just to get rid of Gustav. Honestly, I would just napalm it. Because, he's going to be on the ground too, and the water just completely decimate the area to try to get him. And then whatever's left of him, mount him on my wall. Like, put his head on the wall or something like that. That's the only way I would take on Gustav, is if I just firebombed the whole entire area. Another interesting fact, which I got this fact from my friend Justin, when you watch tennis, interesting fact, the grass is actually brown all on the tennis court. And what they do is they take a layer, they put a coating on the tennis court, and they make it look greener. Because if you actually go to a tennis court, it looks kind of, unless it's fake grass, they cut the grass so much that it pretty much dies. So on television, they put a coating on like when you're watching on TV, that makes the grass look greener. Yeah, so anything you watch on TV is technically kind of lying to you. Because there's like a layer that they can put over the grass. Oh, another interesting fact. If you watch the movie Jurassic Park, which the new movie Jurassic Park Rebirth just came out. I haven't seen it yet, but TikTok is trying to ruin that for me. If you look closely in the first movie, when the Velociraptor is coming into the chasing the kids, and he's coming into the kitchen, look closely, and you could see a producer's hand, one of the workers of the movie, holding the Velociraptor's tail. You have to look closely, but slightly, you could see a hand touching the Velociraptor. Crazy, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Okay, and I got into food of the week. Corn dogs. Have you ever had a corn dog? Because I have. They're decent. They're not bad. They're their own meal. I've eaten like 2 or 3 of them. And, the cornbread, it's nicely wrapped around it. And the hot dog, you have to nuke it, or, it depends on where you get it from. But I would say, what is your favorite corn dog? Do you like the breakfast corn dogs? Have you ever had a breakfast corn dog? They put sausage in there. I don't eat the sausage. Not a sausage fan. I'm more of a bacon fan. Now, can you imagine a corn dog with a piece of bacon in it? It'd be kind of thin, but, put multiple pieces of bacon in that corn dog and bite down on it. It probably tastes pretty good. What is your favorite corn dog, folks? Do you like corn dogs? Have you ever had a corn dog? Because they're not bad. It's pretty decent. And, okay. Into another subject. What fires me up? Tell you what, folks, I got a doozy for you. Cock my hat here, and say, this is what I gotta say about what fires me up. What fires me up is when if I'm doing something with someone, and they look at me and say, that's not my problem, Tommy. That's what ticks me off. When people don't solve the problem and help out with whatever needs to be done, is when someone says, that's not my concern, Tommy. Or that's not my concern. That's not my problem. My God, help people out, for God's sakes. Don't always just say something like that, because when you say stuff like that, it ticks people off. And it ticks me off, honestly. It just sends me up the wall when someone says, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. Get your head out of your ass, seriously. Help people out, for goodness sake. By the way, it is. I'm schwitzing in here. It's hot. The studio lights in here just make me sweat my balls off. Honestly. Oh boy. By the way, if you had a chance, check out the Tommy store and use code Tommy and get 10% off of any purchase on the Tommy store Get yourself a ball cap, get yourself a shirt, anything you want. Even the Tommy comic book, which is up there also. You can check on Amazon, and also you can check out you know, just recently I was looking through my stuff and I found this spork. Look at this. It's a little dynamic fork here. Spork. Ah, you turd muncher. That's what fires me up. Oh, it's not the product. It's the user. Look at that. You can push that thing down and it comes undone. Isn't that unique? Look at that. Ah, like, who ever thought this would be like you could actually think about someone made millions off of this making the spork. That's unique, a unique kind of thing. Very unique. But yeah, but as I was saying, check out the Tommy store and get 10% off of every purchase you make using code Tommy. And the link is in the description below. And I hope everybody's doing well. And if you want to check out some of my current content, check out me on TikTok. I do walking TikToks every once in a while. And, voiceovers and stuff like that. I'm pretty active on TikTok. I've been trying to be active on here. But, I don't know. All I've been doing, I'll tell you my schedule, folks. What I've been doing is I've been going to work out at the gym, going to work, working, and then coming home and just sleeping. That's my routine. Or if my mom's in town, I go hang out with her and do something with her. Go out to have breakfast with her. But, she's, hope you're doing well, Mom. Love you, as always. Also, another thing is if you have a parent that is still with you, tell them you love them. Because the fact is one day they won't be here. One day it'll just be us, by ourselves, alone. And we gotta understand that. And we gotta get along. We gotta learn to survive. One day I'm gonna have to learn that too. Because she won't be here. And it's those days get kind of hard, but I learn to cherish every moment I have with my mother, and I appreciate her, and I love her to death. And my mom is a very unique person. She's a wonderful person, and I love having her in my life, and I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody's staying positive and staying healthy, and during these weird times and stuff like that. And also, another news, recently Donald Trump announced that he is going to have the first ever UFC fight on the front lawn of the White House. So, this will be interesting to see what Trump can develop from this. It'll be interesting to see. And I don't know. I don't know what to say for an inspirational speech. All I can say is every day do something new. Like do something good for a friend, or just do something good for yourself. Like get yourself something, buy yourself something. Because sometimes it's always good to buy yourself something, or just do good for someone else. If you see someone struggling with something and they need help, lend out a helping hand. And like, you are the diamond of your life. You develop your life the way you want to develop it. And the fact is that you are a strong individual that will go the distance. And I want to say, I believe in you. I believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to. And I hope everybody's doing healthy. Hope everybody's doing well. And I guess I don't have any more news. I can show you. I show this all the time. This is my little script of what I have to. That's Chimney Rock. Yes. That's what I was talking about. And the buffalo burning alive. Also, I don't know I might go watch it again. I've watched it like 1,000 times. Tommy Boy is on Netflix right now, and I'm like, okay. I love that movie. It was one of my all-time favorite movies. Like That movie is basically a massive skit inside of a storyline. One of I don't know if everybody's ever I've said how much of a fan I am of Chris Farley. I'm not a fan of what happened to the man. That the fact that he OD'd in his apartment in Chicago, and they just went on a massive drinking and drug fest. Wasn't a fan of that. I was a fan of the man that was so funny and entertaining, and just was one of those guys that really stuck out there. And if you haven't ever watched a Chris Farley movie, you should. You should turn one on right now and give it a watch. Black Sheep, it's funny, but it's almost like David Spade and Chris Farley switched places. Like Farley was playing the straight guy, and David was playing the funny dude. The guy that takes falls and stuff like that. But yeah. But as always, folks, I want to say thank you so much for tuning into Tommy Talks, and I'll see you soon at some point. And we'll be doing at some point, I'll do another episode of Tommy Talks or any other content. And also, if you want to check me out on TikTok. Tommy NC2010 on TikTok. I go live there. And I'm not live, but that's where I do most of my content. And I want to say thank you so much to all my 5 viewers that are watching right now, and after the show ends, I want to say thank you to everybody that watches the show and tunes in and brings in positivity to all my haters. As my father would say to my old teacher, Mr. Ellis, go suck an egg. That's what I gotta say to all my haters and to people that have done me wrong. Go suck an egg, because I'm not going to deal with your hate, honestly. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not going to acknowledge it, because you guys are a bunch of spineless worms that just can't, you have to get your jollies off of my misfortunes. So, when in doubt, to all my haters, go suck an egg, honestly. As always, folks, I'm Tommy NC2010. And thank you for watching another awesome episode of the Tommy Talk Show. As always, folks, I'm keeping you on the inside fact. Subscribe, support, stay positive. I tip my hat to you, folks. Hope you have a great night and a great week. As always, I'll catch you a bit later.